it was the branding, and the branding is the story behind it. And that gave hope to millions of girls. And of course, there is the appeal of obviously being part of the Kardashian Jenner family and what that means. But essentially, why people gravitated towards her is because she was able to be vulnerable and share her story. And so that is a key aspect of the maiden. And so there's a dominant archetype, and then there's a, oh, English has escaped me. There's a dominant archetype, and then there's a secondary archetype. And so within the maiden or the gamine, it's proposed that the lover archetype is the secondary archetype within the maiden and gamine. And I feel like, again, you get that sense of vulnerability from the ability to share your insecurities and share your transformation journey. And then the love archetype can be creative, but I don't know if she per se has the gift of creativity in that sense. And we see that a lot with her businesses, where I will go into it further, but where she's essentially stealing ideas from other people's brands. And if you had that creativity, you wouldn't really need to do that. But I'd say her strength comes in her ability to share and to connect and to show the journey of transformation so beautifully and wonderfully. But with the chameleon coming back into picture, I feel like if her love archetype was actually developed more, it would also mean you knew yourself better. And low self esteem to me also means not valuing yourself enough to actually spend the time to get to know yourself. What are your likes? What are your dislikes? What are your strengths? What are your values? When you prioritize the external world and you feed off of the energy off of the external world, you don't place any emphasis on yourself. And so I think that's what's been reflecting with her businesses. She's got so many things that don't really seem to align with her because she probably hasn't just given herself the importance and the time to really develop her sense of self. And so we also see that reflected in her Met Gala looks. And so I'm going to go back briefly. Every year, and of course, you're trying to fit the theme, but we see that it's almost as if she's always trying to be a character, even outside of the Met Gala. And people want to know the real you. People want authenticity. And that brings me to my next point. I believe the turning point for Kylie Jenner's brand power really came when essentially she lied. She lied to us. So she had this infamous Forbes cover, America's Women Billionaires, proclaiming she's a self made billionaire. And genuinely, I don't know if this is because like her other contemporaries were also making the cover, and so if you feel that need of getting external validation, it's like I need to prove that I'm also on the same level as my contemporaries, and I'm also doing the same things, and you know, I'm reaching that status or barometer of success, which is a billionaire for her. It's like, girl, you didn't have to do all that. You did not have to lie. So essentially, she had a deal with Coty. I'm sure everyone probably knows about this by now. And they overvalued the business, and some of the records and the accounts were doctored to make it seem like she had a $1 billion brand when essentially she didn't. And it would have been fine and dandy, you would have got away with it if it wasn't for these meddling kids. But eventually the truth came out and we realized, oh no, she doesn't have a $1 billion brand. And I do believe that was the start of the end for her. I say end figuratively because she's still in the limelight per se, and she has still launched many brands, but it was the end of her relevance and power. And I think I'm going to actually do a video on the life cycle of an it girl. Just yeah, stay tuned and also let me know if you're interested in that video. But yeah, it's coming. I don't know if I want to just focus on one person or just the scope of it girlism in general. But we see after that point a shift in the cultural attitude towards Kylie. She's no longer really setting the trends, and people are just criticizing her a lot more. And so now bring it forward to 2024, 2025. I believe in 2024 she launched like so many businesses. Some of them even missed my radar. So I'm just going to read this out for a second. It says Kylie Jenner has established a diverse portfolio of businesses, including Kylie